AITA for siding with a home wrecker? Throwaway because I don't want my sister finding this. My sister, Annie, 30 feet SF, is obsessed with a girl, let's say Jane, 20 feet SF, that her husband cheated on her with in mid-2020. IDKY. Jane's not the first or the last, she was one of the decent ones. Didn't realize he was married. Broke it off when she found out. And sent the proof of his cheating to his wife. Somehow he spun this as, she's trying break us up, and my sister fell for it. Which is stupid because Jane already blocked them on everything. He's the one that basically stalked her for months after. Anyway, Annie's been stalking Jane's socials. Anytime Jane posts about something bad happening, Annie calls me up to gloat. Anytime she posts about anything good that happens, Annie starts crying about how it's not fair. In the last few months, Jane apparently got a high-paying new job, got engaged, and is pregnant. Annie had a full-on meltdown over it. It's all she ever wants to talk about. She'll call me at least twice a week with this shit, and text me multiple times a day. She doesn't want advice. Doesn't want to leave him. Just want to vent endlessly. My other sister is also tired of this. But my mom says we need to be gentle because it's hard for Annie. I just want her to stop. I tried sympathy, tough love, changing the subject, suggested counseling. Nothing works. It's non-stop. Jane did this and Jane said that. I hit my boiling point this morning when she was going on about how Jane's fiancé would cheat. Because she's too fat, she's pregnant, and her baby would be a bastard, etc. Then she said, I don't care because I won and she lost. She had him for a week and I have him for a lifetime. For some reason that made me snap. I told Annie she won, a slimy serial cheater who likes to creep on barely legal teens. Who never supported her through illness or depression. Never lifts a finger around the house. Sulks about having to babysit his own kids. Constantly makes mean jokes about her. And criticizes her appearance harshly even though he's below average in looks. I said something like, maybe you're obsessed with Jane's life because it's yours as a massive dumpster fire. Since then, I had to deactivate my socials because I'm getting non-stop hate from Annie, her friends, and extended family for being cruel. Apparently I have no morals and condone cheating? None of them are going for the actual cheater though? Just me for pointing out that he's a cheater? My other sister says that I wasn't wrong. But I was an to say it so harshly. And that Annie is a victim too. IDK Reddit. Am I? Edit. Thanks for all the comments and awards and advice. Sorry I can't reply to everyone. I'll keep suggesting therapy to Annie. And I'll track down Jane's socials and let her know what's up. If anything happens from that I'll let you know. Some people suggested I show this thread to Annie. But I know she'll totally explode if she thinks I shared her private stuff online. Even anonymously. NTA. Your sister is obsessed with someone who her husband cheated on her with. Broke up with said husband once she found out about him still being married and has since moved on. What your sister needs is professional help. NTA. Your sister is in complete denial of her shit life. I wonder how long it'll take for her husband to walk out on her and leave her to dry. If you think that's an actual worry, then you may want to talk with any mutual close relatives and friends to stage some sort of intervention. This shows how bad her life and relationship really is. NTA. I think you only told her the truth. There's a reason she's so obsessed, because hating these other women stops her hating herself. She needs therapy and to leave that man. NTA. I think your sister wants to be Jane. By that I mean in her position. She's 10 years younger and had the sense to get away from that sleaze when she saw him for what he was. A lot of misdirected anger going on here. NTA. The common factor between all these affairs is your sister's husband. Jane called a stop as soon as she learned he was cheating with her. If anyone is at fault, it's your Bill, and he's who your sister needs to deal with. NTA. Your sister is an obsessed stalker who is more focused on Jane's life than she is her own. I think you're right that she's like that because her own life is a disaster. And she wants a distraction from that. But also someone to focus her hate on. NTA. These issues are heavily covered by the Gottmans, who are very well-respected domestic, family psychologists. Her mentality is normal for someone who is betrayed. But you do not need to be on the receiving end of all of this. This is absolutely unhealthy. And your sister needs counseling ASAP. NTA. I'm a soon-to-be ex-wife of a serial cheater, so I get how she feels. She needs a therapist and to get out. For whatever reason, she's stuck in this loop watching the woman move on unscathed and glow up while she's stuck in her own personal hell with a man who doesn't want her. I'm willing to bet cash money, tops $10, that she's scared to move on because, the evil you know, etc. I waited until my daughter was in her final year of high school to make moves, and I'm in therapy. She needs counseling. NTA. Your sister is too obsessed with this. The girl didn't even know he was married, and she prefers to guilt her instead his husband. She didn't want anything. She's still with the cheater who must be looking for another girl while Jane continued her life. NTA. Your sister is obsessed with Jane because of the lack of crazy. Jane broke it off and moved in as soon as she found out, proving herself to be a decent person and not at all willing to humiliate herself for the douche canoe. She wants that crazy obsessed side piece behavior to 1. Make herself look like a martyr. 2. Feel smug that her husband won't go anywhere. Because of course he won't. You are not the awe. Sit back and watch the drama like the wannabe Mexican telenovela it is. Good luck. NTA. You're not siding with a homewrecker. You listed all her husband's flaws, which are nothing to do with Jane. And frankly, your assessment of her own life being a dumpster fire, which also has nothing to do with Jane, sounds spot on. You just got fed up with bellyaching and it all came out. So of course it came out harsh. But I don't see anything in what you wrote here that says what Jane did is okay. Even your other sister agrees. NTA. Stand your ground. Just ignore any MSGs that get through to you. If you run into Annie, don't respond to any of her complaints. Beyond saying something like, oh, not only are you NTA, but I'd keep an eye on this obsession your sister has with Jane. If it goes past the already unacceptable social media stalking, you need to DM Jane yourself and let her know. Make a fake account to do it if you want. I'm sure she'll still believe you enough to block Annie. I'm sure you don't think your sister would actually do anything. And most women don't. But people in your sister's headspace stop behaving rationally. Online hate stalking can get really out of control. And she could try to start fucking with Jane's actual life if she doesn't get a hold of herself. NTA. It's hard to listen to someone complain about the same things over and over again without any desire to change them. As is said, what you are not changing, you are choosing. Your sister sounds like she needs counseling. But she'll have to come to that decision on her own terms. It won't work for her if she doesn't really want it and commit to it. In the meantime, you should take a break from her for a while. ETA. It's very weird that everyone is more focused on Jane than on the cheating husband. I understand she needs to tell herself these things to keep it together, but the degree to which she expects you all to play along is so unreasonable. She won't leave her husband, so she has to blame someone else. Eventually he'll leave her entirely and then she will have a new target. NTA, your sister is childish. So I'm gonna tell you a little tale about a friend of mine who won her cheating husband. He dated and got pregnant Sarah when they were 18. He moved on to my friend Samantha. He was 22. She was 17 and he got her pregnant too. The kids are not even 2 years apart. So moving on, it's now a few years later and good old Buford decided to marry Samantha. Yay. Nope. On the eve of the wedding, as she's hanging with her pals and Miss Sarah shows up and tells her she is pregnant. Like already 7 months. And good old Buford has been using their time for child visitation to screw his ex and bribing their son to keep quiet. Well, sure enough, Samantha decides she has to win, so she marries him anyway and then has another child because, I have to win. Sarah can't have more kids than me. So after 16 years, you know what her grand prize was? A husband who cheated on her for years, was a total absentee father to all of his kids, and would drop Sarah kids with her for the weekend and leave to go out with friends. She finally had enough. Tried to get a divorce and he fought her on every decision. Refused to move out of the house, and when she would go to bed at night he would come in, lie next to her and masturbate as loud as possible to piss her off. Yeah, he was a great prize there. She became an alcoholic with such low self-esteem issues who will sleep with anyone who she meets in a bar, and he tells her she is pretty. It's just one long series of men meet her and they like her, date her for about a month, and then the broken parts of her show and she gets ghosted. She has been ghosted like 25 times. It's not funny, but I think she is the original ghostee because it happened to her in 2006 before we even called it that. He ruined her. He broke something so deep inside her she can't find it to pull it back together again. So no, you are NTA, but your friend is to the off for putting herself and her future children through what will surely be $1,000s of dollars worth of therapy appointments in the futures. This man is not a prize, he is a barnacle on the booty of life. I know she won't hear it from you, but let her read this and see her future. She can even DM me if she wants to ask about it. I've been picking my friend up and out of bottles for years. It's painful on her side and mine. Good luck, 4-leaf clover, to your sister, and I hope one day she does find her prince. But this guy? He ain't it. ETA. Yay, his kids are from Sarah Samantha again, Samantha again. They are all kinds of screwed up too. NTA. Jane is not a home wrecker. It is impossible for her to be a home wrecker if she did not know this guy was married. Once she found out, she cut him off and told his wife so. By definition, Jane cannot be considered a homewrecker. Your sister is delusional. If anyone was wrecking homes, it was Annie's stupid husband. What you said may have been harsh, but it was not cruel, and there is no need to consider her feelings because her feelings don't make any sense. Participating in someone's delusions is only enabling them. Annie is not a victim of Jane. Annie is the victimizer of Jane. The only person who Annie is a victim of is her own abusive husband. NTA. Your sister would rather blame Jane woman than her husband because that's probably one of the ways she justifies staying with him. It's not his fault. She tempted him. She's mad at you because she has chosen to believe her husband was innocent. There's no reasoning with that sort of delusion. She obviously needs professional help, but until she sees that, she won't be able to move on. NTA It's giving Chloe and third trimester Thompson. Like you know the man cheated on you, but instead of reading him the riot act, they go after the woman. And by the time the woman moves on, the man do it again. Like at this point just let her scrub the ground a bit.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.